Good. One answer. Okay. Maybe two. Many of you I've had before. Some of you it's been a few semesters. So that's cool. Good to see you. Welcome back. My name is Dr. Payne, for those of you who haven't had me before, which sounds awesome. Main reason I got my PhD. How I do? Man of many words right there. Okay. Good. All right, Psalms 42, we're in the right place. Cool. Thank you for taking this course. Congratulations. You passed it. We'll get you your certificate, and I'll shake your hand. I won't shake your hand today. I have a cold. I'm like getting over. It's not the COVID. So forgive me for sounding like crap today. Okay? But we'll get through it. First day, no problem, right? Cool. Good break? Everybody have a good break? Eat a lot? You fat and lazy?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Some of you know? All right, good. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's how you play the game. What does that mean? Not all at once. One at a time. What does that mean to you?
I'd say success is defined by you, like Coach John Wooden. Coach John Wooden had a philosophy. He was a basketball coach, had a philosophy. And it was basically.
I know who Wooden is. Does anybody else know who John Wooden is? Who's John Wooden?
I actually don't know a ton about the guy. I just know he was a
Winningest basketball coach of all time in terms of championships. Coached at UCLA for a long time.
So his philosophy on success had to do with literally just internal. Did you play the best you could? Basically, to the best of your ability. So basically, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. And he said that it literally didn't matter if you win or lose because you can be successful and lose the game just as much as you can be unsuccessful and win the game.
Okay.
Because of how you play.
All right.
I don't know if that makes sense.
What does it mean to you? I like where you're going. It's fine. What does that mean to you?
To me?
Yeah, you.
I'd say similar to Coach Wooden said, if I can play to the best of my ability, so as far as the mental side of the game goes, I grew up playing baseball, so that's a mental game.
What position?
A lot of shortstop.
Okay.
Kind of utility though. I can play pretty much anywhere. I did play first base though. But baseball, 90% mental. The other half is physical. So if I was mentally in the game and I put myself in the best position I could to make the best play that I could, I was okay with that. The physical side wasn't always going to be there, and you're always going to make mistakes. But how you dealt with those mistakes and how you progressed through those mistakes and maybe learn from it or brush it off and hey, you gotta make the next play or focus on the next pitch was really the defining factor of success for me. Not so much the outcome or
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense either.
Yeah, I got you. Who else?
At this point.
What you got, Ken?
So what it means to me is kind of building off some of what he said. In high school, I was an air rifle, and I did a lot of air rifle every other day. I was after school practicing because we had a team. But to me, what this means relates into that. It goes to when we would go to a competition, I was never the best shooter on the team, but that's okay. So I wouldn't usually score the best. I wasn't usually the worst either, or I wouldn't have been on the team. But every time we went to a competition, I focused a lot less on the result of kind of how we did and more making sure that I was improving. Did I do better than last time?
Okay.
What did I do well? What can I reflect on? What did I not do well? Because shooting is absolutely a mental sport. You're not moving around a whole lot when you've got, you're just standing in a position or kneeling or whatever and taking your rifle shots. It's a lot more about your breathing, your mental state. And so you have to reflect a lot about yourself, what your thought process was, what you did well, what you did wrong. And it's a lot more about, did I do better than last time? Did I do better than 2 weeks ago? Than
Okay.
how this particular event ended.
Okay. Who else? Hannah?
I kind of felt like it's not about the hand you're dealt, it's what you do with it. And even thinking about just life in general, it's if you're one that cheats or purposely hurts others, in the game of life, it kind of shows your real colors, what you're willing to do for a win or a loss in your book.
Okay.
And so that's how I viewed it, was doing what you can with what you have.
Good. I'll take it. Who? You guys get pretty good answers in terms of, you said sometimes you have a good game, you still lose, right? Sometimes you have a crappy game, team wins. Okay? So I'll take it. Aren't you playing to win?
In the long run, sure. If I'm improving every time I go out shooting, eventually I might be the best and might win. I might be improving for the purpose of winning in the future.
Okay. Yep.
Well, can't winning look different multiple ways of like?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. You can have different. I don't know. It's hard to define because I guess playing a game, there's pretty clear cut definitions of winning. But like, I don't know. You could guess your progress as winning if you're improving in that sense.
Okay. Yep.
I don't think there's a lot of people that would want to win unethically.
You think there is or isn't?
I do not think there's a lot of people that would want to win by cheating or want to win unethically. Case is whenever Jimbo, or a lot of coaches do this, but Jimbo has a very strict team policy, and if any of his players break the team rule, if they break curfew, they don't play. And there was a big game, it might have been when he was at A&M or maybe Florida State, but one of the star players broke the team rule, and it was in a bowl game, I think, and he didn't play him because he broke the team rule. And he was one of the key players. So he could have said, hey, we're playing to win, let me just break the rules that I set and let him play. But instead he decided to follow his ethics and follow his rules and not play the guy, even though it probably wasn't the best thing for the team in the sense of winning.
Do you think most people don't want to do anything to win? You mentioned ethics, which is good. You
I
think
think
most
people
people
wanna
are
do-
ethical?
People will try anything to win if it generally, obviously there's always people that are unethical, but generally people would rather win without cheating than with cheating. Do you disagree?
Doesn't matter what I think. Does anyone disagree with you? What do you got?
I haven't seen statistics in a long time. Statistics for cheating in like grade schools are ridiculously high. That shows that people are willing to win unethically if it means less effort, less work on their part.
With COVID at universities, cheating is through the roof in the last 2 years, including West Point and the Naval Academy. Both have had cheating scandals in the last 2 years. Now, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I'm going to go with you and say statistically, people are going to cheat when they can. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right?
I will say, if we're going to grades, I would retract that. But if it's a game, like, so I'm thinking
Is it different though? If A-Chain can get away with taking steroids or human growth hormones, and he can get away with cheating in class, is there a difference?
ethically, no. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a bigger severity of like putting helium in a football than pulling your phone out during a test.
Okay.
Because what a lot of people will do is they'll weigh the stakes of what they're fighting for. So for grades, you're fighting for a better life, for better. If you succeed in this in your grade school, you get a good job and be able to provide for your family, right?
Okay.
If you're just playing a high school football game, for some people that's for fun. For some people that's a college graduation or a college full ride scholarship.
Right. So is that different? Because some of them it is a better life. Maybe they can't afford school, they don't have the grades to get in, but they get that scholarship.
Yeah, exactly. So some of the kids on the team, high school football team, for example, may be willing to cheat because they want that scholarship. Some people draw the line.
Okay.
They want the scholarship, but they're not willing to. I think there's very few amount of those people. And then there's the other people who aren't going for the scholarship. They're not in it for survival, and they're just having fun with it. So they don't have a reason to have to cry.
So, okay, if you're doing it for fun, you're good, you're following the rules, life's good. But a teammate is cheating to get ahead. What are you doing about it? That person's doing, say they're taking HGH, get bigger, better, stronger, faster so they can get a scholarship. What do you do about it? It's your teammate. You gonna rat him out? Okay. Why? What are you doing?
I'd go to him first, be like, bro, you can't do that. And then
Okay.
get another person to back me up, kind of try and get some accountability.
Oh, gang up on him?
Yeah, get some accountability.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna peer pressure him into stopping.
Exactly.
Okay. And he's like, man, I'm trying to make a better life. If I get my 40 time down, then I get an offer. Then I can go to college. Then I can get a degree. So I'm not gonna stop. What are you doing?
So do you try to present it in a logical way? Like, all right, you make
You
it
just
happen?
did. I just told you what I'm doing.
I don't, so that you say.
Look at me, man. I can't run a 4.540.
You say, all right. Say you go to college and you get this, and that. You make it. It's your sophomore, junior year, and then you get caught for what you're doing. You lose everything. Your credibility is gone. And
Sophomore, junior year, man, I'm out. I'll go pro. I'll transfer. It's easy now. Let's back up before we even get there. What are you doing to your teammate in high school? Says I'm not going to stop cheating.
Go to coach.
We're gonna rat him out. Okay. Who else? Who's not? What do you got?
I would say that if you're living an ethical life and you're living like as a leader that's setting an example for other people to an extent that they know who you are, know who your value, what your values are, you can come up to them. I think it can change the situation a lot.
So you're saying that if I'm a good example of a teammate and I'm doing it the right way, that'll carry more weight?
I'm saying that rather than you see somebody doing something and you just come and tell them, if you're living in a way that sets a really good example and you're a really upstanding, well-respected guy, you're gonna have more respect and weight on the team, and you can possibly, without having to go tell the coach and get him in trouble, rectify the situation.
Okay, how? How are you gonna do that? How would you rectify it?
Well, if you look at somebody with more respect, that their voice carries more weight on the team, you say, hey man, this isn't going to work, and you talk to them, kind of the same conversation, but if you set yourself in a way that you have more sway over the people on your team, you can do more good without having to do the harm of like messing up his sports career necessarily.
Okay. I think what you're saying is if you carry enough weight on the team, you can have that conversation with him without going to the coach. Is what you're trying to do. Okay. Similar teammates, all right? What do you tell your kids? Does anybody not want to have a family? All right, good. So no one's exempt from this conversation. What do you tell your kids? You want them to win, right? Right, Chase? You want them to do well? What do you do? What do you tell them?
Well, I think like in the long run, it's better to like learn from your mistakes and then improve upon that.
Okay.
Cheating in the short run and then not learning from it.
Okay, what do you mean? Elaborate on it.
Well, like if you cheat and like do well, that's not gonna happen the rest of your life. It's just
What if you get away with it? What if it works and it's awesome?
well, it's not gonna happen every time.
Why not? Haven't been caught yet.
Yet.
So you did go until you get caught?
No.
I'm asking.
No.
I'm asking. Okay, your kid's getting away with it. Your kid's doing something they're not supposed to, but it's working and they're succeeding and they're winning. What do you do about that?
I need to stop because it's gonna happen where it's gonna downfall.
Okay.
It's gonna be like a bigger situation and they're gonna try to cheat and
Lance Armstrong won like 7 Tour de France's. And it was years later when he got him taken away. The-
he got caught.
but the hay's in the barn. He's sitting on millions of dollars. Did he learn?
It's not competing anymore.
What you got?
So I think that like a lot of cheating comes from peer pressure from parents. Like a lot of the time whenever it comes to grades and different things like that, like I feel like
Really?
people are trying, like their parents are the peer pressure. They're trying to
So much pressure to succeed.
reach, the goals of their parents. So I think like something that you can do from a really young age with your children is teach them that it's not about winning, that it's about doing well, like doing the best that you can, and whether or not you win, like you've still done a great job. So they're not always trying to do better and better and better, and like obviously you want them to succeed, but if they're pushing the boundaries of certain things, like you need to have a good enough relationship with them to like sit down and have that conversation or know when those things are going on.
So it's okay you didn't get an A&M, you just go to Blinn?
I mean, not like, oh, you shouldn't like degrade them for that or think that they're not worthy of love and
Whose
support.
parents are Aggies? Would have been okay if you didn't get in? No. Who said no? Where's my no? Why?
I was always raised an Aggie, and if I didn't make it in, I think there would just be a lot of disappointment because of all the expectations of me.
Okay, good. You guys have your hands up. What do you got?
Kind of back off what she said. I went to high school. My parents were like, if you make 1B, you will not get into any college ever, and you will be a failure to look upon. So there was a lot of pressure for me to like.
So just coercive power is what we're using. Okay.
And when I got into my senior year of high school, I started writing my own papers, much to my parents' anger.
What do you mean? Like that's the first time?
Well, no, they would always like help and like edit and make it sound better. But then senior year came around, I was like, okay, I'm doing this 100% on my own, get out of it, and it ended up well. And then when my younger sister became a senior, I was a freshman in college at the time. She plagiarized she was in the new credit. She plagiarized her last paper, got caught because the teacher was like, oh, what did you write about? She's like, the book, and
It's
can't give any specifics. So she got caught,
awesome.
and my parents thought she wasn't going to get into her school, and so I think at least for where I went to high school, parents are very if you don't succeed to the best of the best, you will not succeed anywhere.
Okay. What do you got?
I was gonna say, kind of similar to what she was saying. My parents always told me like, and maybe this is why I really like that Coach John Wooden philosophy was like, if you try your hardest, like we're perfectly fine with that. For me, that was typically a B in math. I'm not good at math, but like I put forth my best effort. We're both Flint team guys, so we were kind of like that borderline. We were both here now, and that was through a lot of time and effort because we're not the smartest guys. You never will be the smartest guy in the room, and you're never going to be the best, the strongest, biggest, strongest, fastest guy in the room either. But again, if you put forth the best of your ability, and that's what I'm telling my kid, if you genuinely try hard, and genuinely do the best that you can, that's all I can ask for. Whether or not that's A&M, like that's perfectly fine. Live your own life.
Okay. Quick.
So my parents pretty much the same way. Both my parents, neither one of them were really great students in college. My dad went to Arkansas and played soccer, transferred here, and then didn't graduate, dropped out. My mom took 9 years to graduate from here. So they did the same thing. It was no matter what you're doing, whether it's sports, whether it's grades, whatever, like they said, we don't care if you make a C in a class, as long as you're putting in as much effort as you can to try to do the best that you can. Like everything's not always going to work out, but if you're doing whatever you can, like the best of your ability, then that's what they want. They don't want they want the best for us, but
Okay. All right, I'll take it. And Aggie does. Do they?
Elaborate, more.
Scout, right? Band, yeah. Are you all of those things?
Probably not.
Parents are gonna be so disappointed. Okay. How do you determine what's right?
I think a lot of it.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
What do you got?
I think it's important to educate yourself and make that determination. But a lot of times, people have different definitions. of
Not
right.
people. You.
I'm a very big gray area person, and I think that it's really hard for something to be completely right or wrong.
Okay.
Unless it's like an extreme.
Okay, so how do you determine that? If you live in the gray area, which is where most of life is, how do you determine what's right?
I think it's more about knowing the people, or I guess if it's me making those decisions, then for me, I guess it's weighing pros and cons of like the action versus the consequence.
Okay. Phil, who else? Yeah, Lenny?
I think it's easier to tell when like something's wrong. Like
Of course it is.
you can't sleep at night, like if you can't live with yourself after
Okay. Can you still lay awake at night? Right? Which we all do, right? You ever think about something like you said in 8th grade? It's the dumbest shit ever, right? She's gone, bro. It's over. Like, you're not... It's not going to change. Can't go back. Can you still have done the right thing and lay awake at night? Yeah, probably. Okay. It's defined by a code of ethics. So what is yours? You look confused.
Ethics. Well, I think your ethics are formed by your experiences, honestly.
Yeah, so what are yours?
So what are mine?
Yeah.
It's a very open-ended question.
Yep. Welcome to Psalms 482.
All right. This is hard to answer. All right.
Why? Why is it hard to answer?
Because
How old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
Okay. Catholic?
Yes.
What are you studying?
Agriculture economics.
That's right, Ag-Eco. Okay, cool. All right, so that tells me a little bit about you. All right. What else? Why is this hard to answer? You know who you are.
You know who I am. Well, I guess you can kind of surface level know who I am, but
But do you know who you are?
I think I do know who I am.
Okay, so tell me about you and what your ethics are.
I don't know. I stand up for what's right, I guess. I try to.
What's right?
What's right is what I think is like morally acceptable, what's morally good, what brings the best for someone else's life. So if that's
Who determines the morals? You do, right?
yeah. So
Was Martin Luther right?
I don't think so, but we can
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You don't. Any Lutherans in here? Damn it.
My mom's actually.
Your mom's Lutheran?
Yeah, my dad's Catholic.
How'd that go?
I don't know. She raised me Catholic.
Did they go to counseling or anything?
Yeah.
Okay. How was it? I'm asking because sometimes some churches are
No,
not nice.
It was good. They actually got married in a Lutheran church by a Catholic priest, though.
That's outstanding. I'd have paid money to
Yeah, it was a priest actually from St. Mary's here.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Good. So, do they have similar ethics and morals?
Yes.
They're pretty aligned.
Yeah, pretty in line.
Okay.
Maybe.
But they're very different people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Who else wants to give this a shot? What do you got, Mason?
You go a lot of different ways with it.
No, you, man.
I know. So-
You guys always speak in generalities.
All right, so if I were to choose like 3 words that describe like ethics or morals that I align with, one would be loyalty to like friends and family, honesty, and respecting others.
What about honesty?
Honesty, I mean, I was raised where lying's not right, lying's not okay.
Okay.
I try not to lie to people. I think that you can't really have friends, you can't really have people know you, and you can't really know others if everybody's lying. So
Do you lie?
Do I lie? Well, I don't know.
He's a really honest
Do you lie to oh shh. Do you lie to yourself?
Do I lie to myself? I don't think so.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Damn.
I think
I'll study more later.
I would never say that. I think I'll do it tomorrow.
I'll PT tomorrow. I'll PT later. Only one more episode.
I think that those are like general statements. Like that's not
But do you tell yourself those things and not follow through?
yeah, but I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
think-
but.
So, I don't think that that's a lie. I think that that's a general statement. This is what I would like to do. I would like to only watch one more episode.
It's dishonest.
It was
What's the
truthful
difference?
in the moment.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
I think he genuinely wanted.
Why
to
would you?
play.
But
Alright, so if I say,
But you don't adhere to
if I
it.
say I want to go to Chick-fil-A right now, and in 5 minutes I don't want to go to Chick-fil-A. Does that mean that that was a lie?
it does, doesn't
So,
it?
like,
No, because in the moment you wanted to go to Chick-fil-A.
so if I go on a 3-mile run, I'm like, I'm gonna go on a 3-mile run, but then I break my leg a mile in, then I lie to myself.
Well, beyond your control, right? But if you just stop because you were tired, and you're like, man, I'm tired. I'll run more next time. I'll do
What if
extra.
I was genuinely tired, I'm like, man, I can't finish this run.
But could you?
Maybe.
Could you?
Never know.
3-mile run, probably. Right? I would hope so. How many of you could have 4 points?
What was the question?
How many of you could have a 4.0 GPA?
I think anybody can have 4 points.
Anyone in here.
It depends on what you want.
Why don't you all have gold stars on your shirts? Because you're lazy. Huh?
You choose to have relationships with others instead. Like I would
Who's the muck for the band?
Jacob.
Abel. That big, tall, beautiful son of a bitch. Okay? Does he have bless you, Kobe. Does he have relationships with other people?
Yes.
Does he have a 4-point in BIMS?
It's 3.89, but I'm his roommate.
Call him, are you?
Yeah.
Nice. Love to pick on Abel. Everybody doesn't know who he is. He's the muck for the band. And he's, 7 feet tall, and his shoulders are this wide. He's got a 12-inch waist, and he's polite and beautiful. He's a turd, right? Hate his guts, but you don't. Because he's a good dude, right? Okay, pretty good dude. Could you have a 4-point and still have relationships and still be getting married?
I would, but it wouldn't be.
But, God, just hang with me all semester, okay? You could, right? In theory.
Yeah.
You could. Any of you could, okay? So could have I. Did I? No. Still call me doctor. Your favorite answer. All right, what we will discuss in here is situational ethics. It depends. You're goddamn right it does. It always depends. All right? By the way, I swear in class, for those of you who haven't had me before, if that bothers you, please let me know. I will not do it. But I don't really hold back. Okay? And I'm serious. If you really don't want me to, I can turn it off. All right? Rightness or wrongness of an act is determined only by the morality of one's own motives or intentions in a given situation. It's not good or right, but fitting. When there's no right decision to make, you have to make the hard decision. Most of life is a gray area. Right versus wrong is easy. What we will get into in here is right versus right. Bias and justification. It's okay if I do it. I can have sweets. I'm not supposed to. Right? We will always do this to ourselves. Right? Or you see somebody else doing it. And you're like, oh, I can do this thing because they did that thing. Super common amongst cadets. Okay. My favorite example that some of you heard before, nice sunny day, it's cold out. It's supposed to be like 75 this afternoon. Okay? Nice sunny day. Brandon's walking across the quad. He's got an ice cream cone. Happy as can be. What's your favorite flavor? Vanilla? Perfect for you. Okay? Anyway, chocolate? Anybody chocolate? Mint chocolate chip? Anybody? Your favorite Bluebell? Okay? All right? Having a good day. You got an ice cream cone. It's a nice sunny day. Almost done with it. A little bit left. It's dripping down your arms, getting messy. Brandon's walking on the quad. Just throws it under some bushes. We good? Why not? What's your problem? You're bothered already. No, hold on. He's shaking your head. Some of you just mad he didn't finish the ice cream cone, right? Just eat it, man. Lick it off your arm. You good? What do you got? What's your problem?
Littering and just kind of wasting something that's perfectly fine.
It's biodegradable, right? It's just an ice cream cone. Good.
Squirrel eating.
Yeah, maybe some fire ants, and then a fish will come along and start doing push-ups right on the pile. Okay, and then he's got fire ants all over him. You don't like that he littered?
No.
Okay, what do you got? No, what do you got?
No, I'm singing them out of my head.
We good or we not good?
Good.
We're good? You're good with it? It's an ice cream cone, no big deal, right? What do you got?
I was gonna say, like in the eyes of the law, so like if you're driving down the road,
What do you think?
What I think?
Yes.
I don't care. Like I'm fine.
You're good with it.
because it's biodegradable. You chuck a banana peel, I don't care.
Yeah,
Now,
okay.
If you're throwing like plastic and glass, I'm like, all right, come on, man.
Okay, cigarette butts biodegradable.
That one bothers me.
Why? What's the difference? Same thing as ice cream cone. Both are
Yeah,
bad for you.
Maybe because of the stigma around.
Tastes great.
Maybe because of the stigma around smoking. I don't
Okay.
know. I also grew up in a non-smoker household that was unacceptable. I don't.
Okay, fair enough.
So
All right,
that's-
but there's no difference between paper cigarette butt that's biodegradable and the ice cream cone. But one bothers you, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Okay, what do we got? Get your hand up.
I'd say, I mean, even in the case of ice cream cone, there's a possibility that you're causing someone else to have to take a bath,
Correct.
which, like, there's no reason why they should have to. They should just be able to just go away.
Yeah, let's say the garbage is right there. he walks by it and throws it under the bushes. We bothered? Now it bothers you? Why? What's the difference?
Because he could have made a decision. He could have walked a couple feet and thrown it away, but he didn't, and so he therefore created a problem for somebody else.
Okay, who's good with it in general? Just like, okay, there's not a garbage, good with it. Threw down ice cream. What if it's a fish? What if it's a fish?
Like, is it raw or cut?
Huh? No, a fish. What if it's a freshman? Sorry. What if it's a freshman?
Yeah.
Who says, why? Why? What's the difference? Who's just afraid of Brandon in general? Jack you up, man. He's a silent killer. Okay? Why is it different if a fish does it?
It's not really.
It's not. Okay? Pissed you off though, didn't it?
It would, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Again, we will get into this. Right? We tend to justify things that we do. You ever seen somebody driving down the road and they're driving like an idiot and they're on their phone? Piss you off? So nobody touches their phone when they drive?
Never.
Sure. I am amazed more people don't get hurt on this campus. Because not only the driver's doing it, but you guys walk. And it's not a crosswalk. You just, West Campus, Aggie Go, right?
Yeah.
People do 90 down that road. Okay? All right, we'll get into all that. You ever been in the zone? Things feel good all the time? Who said yes? All the time? Yeah, man, I'm awesome. Life's great. Okay. You ever been on a run and you just don't get tired? You ever had a good run? You're like, man, I could do this all day. What happens when you go do the next run? Huh? You feel miserable. Why? It's the dumbest shit ever, right? Okay. You ever, not a lot of you will this apply to. You ever been like acing a test? It's a good shot, right? You ever been taking a test and like things are going well? Right, man, you're like, I got this. You get to the next class, next test, doesn't go well. What's that about? It's weird, right? Okay, that's being in the zone. The textbook is required. We will get into that. It's on the syllabus. We'll go into it next week. It's boring as shit. But you got to get the textbook, and we will get into that. Okay? We will talk about being in the zone. All right? We'll talk about what led up to it. How did it feel? Can you duplicate it? Right? Which is really hard to do. Lenny brought up a great point. Okay? You're going to have to make decisions the rest of your life, and you have to live with them. All of you want to have families, right? You're going to have to decide, is it my job or her job, or his job, or whoever? Am I giving things up to be around my kid? Am I giving up a promotion and pay so I can spend more time with my children? Am I going to take the promotion so that I can provide better for my children? But I'm going to be around less. Okay? Those are things we're going to talk about this semester. Okay? You have to live with the decisions that you make. Everything we will try to do in here is how to deal with life in the real world. Right? I try to relate everything we do in SOMS, which is hard. You haven't been there yet. You're getting close. Shit's about to get real. Okay? End of this semester, for those of you who don't have grad school or jobs lined up, you come and like ask me, teach me everything we learned in SOMS again. Okay? It's a coming, and it's coming fast. How quickly did the last 3.5 years go? One more semester. Who's graduating this semester? Fair amount of you. You hope you have passed my class. Great position to be in for me. All right? Things we will talk about. And this is mostly feedback from cadets in this class before. Some of it already had, but some of it we will incorporate. We'll talk about relationships, personal and professional. Okay? Careers and how to get one, whether grad school, military, civilian, whatever you're doing. Okay? We will try to incorporate that. Conversations we will have will both be real world examples and then trying to figure out how you fit in. Now it's hard, a lot of them are hypothetical, but that's what we have to deal with, okay? Unfortunately, I can't make you do things that I want to do. Another good one that comes up, family life, expenses, finances, that one comes up a lot for you guys. I don't get into it a ton, but we will touch on it, okay? Failure, exactly what we were talking about at the beginning. This is something that I think is generational. I think, from having done this a while, you guys are inherently afraid to fail. You're afraid of failure. Your generation, like not just cadets, but like your entire generation has a real problem with failure. And I think it's just, you grew up with phones, right, and social media. Like, it's been around your entire lives. So everything is broadcasted. And you guys are pretty good about knowing not to post, right? But if I don't like Kenneth and I see him getting hammered at the chicken, I can film a video of him fucking up, right? And I can put that out there, right? Now, he might not want to done it, but that's what happens, okay? No context, no idea what's going on. Maybe he's just doing a ring dunk, having a good day, okay? But I can make him look bad. I think that has something to do with it. I'm not entirely sure, okay? But we'll talk about failure and why it's okay, right? For those of you who had me before, we talked about a lot of historical figures. There's not one that hasn't screwed up, right? There's not one. Leadership and followership, obviously we'll get into that, okay? Self-improvement. This tends to be like, boring, more SOMS crap. Well, none of us are perfect, okay? So we'll work on that, right? Leadership is not about what you have to do. It's about what you choose to do in order to help others. Anybody know who said that? Wild guess? He's in the room. Yeah. This is my definition of leadership. Those of you who've had me for multiple semesters now, you should have one. You should have your own definition of what leadership is to you. Okay? That will help guide your ethics and morals. Right. We'll talk about decision making again, touch on that. Some things we will learn: ends-based thinking, rule-based thinking, and care-based thinking. They're all different, okay, and how they fit into your decisions and moral and ethical dilemmas. Right? Just because you are analyzing a situation, that doesn't mean you're solving it. That's not resolution. You got a tough situation, you got underclassmen, people in your outfit screwing up, you're trying to figure out, am I going to take this job offer, this grad school, no grad school, okay? Just because you're thinking about something, that doesn't equal resolution. So we got to work on it, okay? We'll show you how to do that, okay? Most fun we will have in here, okay? And if you've had me before, I've teased it last semester, is right versus right ethics. We will get into dilemmas where there's no right or wrong. It is simply right versus right. Okay? And we'll talk about how they cannot be, you can't do both. You cannot do two things, right? You have to pick one. Right? I can't sort of tell the athlete who's cheating, right? I'm either going to tell him or I'm not. I'm either going to tell the coach or I'm not. And we'll get into all of that. Questions for me?
What would you do?
With what? Doesn't matter what I would do. It doesn't. And here's why. My job is not to get you to think like me. Right? There's a lot of faculty in the world that don't think that way. My job is to get you to think for yourself. What would you do? It doesn't matter what I would do. And it doesn't matter what you would do. You're the one who has to live with it. You're the one who has to be able to sleep at night. Sometimes you're going to sleep great. Sometimes you won't. Okay? Now, I'll give you a situation where I would tell you, I will give you real world examples that I would use of what I've done. Okay? But it's not about what I would do. I'll tell you an example. And I may bring it up. I'm in the Air Force. I'm in the Air National Guard part-time. And I had a friend of mine in the Guard, we're enlisted, and he was taking steroids to get bigger. Didn't play sports, just wanted to be jacked up. Big guy. Good-looking kid, too. Dude was huge. Now, steroids were not illegal in the civilian world. Per the Air Force, he was not allowed to take them. He was not supposed to be taking steroids and be able to stay in the Air Force. First, I confronted him, and then I went through the chain of command. All right, I gave him the opportunity to deal with it first. He didn't want to. So then I went to my chain of command. Right? It actually came up. I was interviewing to be a pilot, and it came up in the interview because they knew about it, and they wanted to know that. Right? This was shortly after 9/11, and they wanted to know what I would do in this situation because they're just evaluating me, and we'll get into that. right? The reason they ask you questions in job interviews and stuff like that, it's not about your answer, it's the process of your answer. Right? Every question I had for being an officer after 9/11 is, would you shoot down an airliner? Right? And they're gonna train you, we're gonna teach you to pull the trigger, okay? But not knowing that, they just want to see how I would answer the question. Okay? Am I just blindly gonna do it? Okay, maybe, that tells them something about me. Am I opposed to doing it? That tells them something about me. We'll get into why they ask you questions in job interviews, okay, and what they're looking for. All right. Sound good? Cool. The book is on the syllabus. We'll get into more of that next week, but order it. It's like 10 or 12 bucks. There was a weird deal a few years ago. The cover of the book was a different print. It was about some woman who lived in a cabin, but it was the Good Business cover with the same author and everything. It's very strange. Just double check. You can buy it used. I don't know if there's a PDF online. There might be one floating around, but please get the book as soon as you can. Right? It's all in the syllabus. We'll get into that more next week. I wait because, especially seniors, you guys are really annoying about ad drop, which, by the way, is Monday. Okay, ad drop's Monday, and the 0 credit hour. I'll send it on email to all of you, but it always defaults to 0 credit. If you want to take it for a credit, it doesn't matter to me. Your grading doesn't change. All right, you got to get a C or above to pass. If you do pass, fail. But if you want to take it for a credit, you go into Howdy and change it. Okay, it always defaults to 0 credit. Questions on that? Sure, we're good. Seniors, been around the block. Cool. Need anything from me? Awesome, we're done early. Go have a wonderful week. I will see you next week.